CEO of Zakotech. We're doing another Wuhan coronavirus talk here. I'm kind of finishing up because I try to keep these, because I do talk a lot. My wife calls me, which she's Polish, dużo głowa. She used to, now. In any case, but that means big talker in Polish, roughly translated. But in any case, so I'm trying to keep these things short so that way somebody would want to watch it to the end and they don't just miss anything because anyway. So in any case, one of the other things that I wanted to mention is I went to Walmart and I started, of course, wearing my whole face mask and everything, and also the goggles. Apparently they're anti-fog on those, but you have probably at most 30 minutes before you start steaming of those things, and pretty much if you're going somewhere, so it's hard to even work with them. I wear them to the customer and back, but that's not about Walmart. That was another side note. See, I get distracted a little bit hearing that. But in any case, I went to Walmart and I was talking to somebody, and we kind of course, it seemed like the topic everybody's talking about. And I said, well, I haven't seen anybody wearing any masks. You somehow got that subject. It's like, why do you not have any masks? I said, well, it's like, no, they're not allowed to wear a mask at Walmart. They said they don't need, I don't know, I'm not going to try to take her words out. I don't know if it's don't need it or it's not necessary or something like that, along that lines. And apparently I said, well, could you not wear a scarf? And I kind of went along the same arguments as I did for the other one about the hospital. It's like, well, yeah, but you're out here, and then it's like, she's like, she's thinking about taking time off, but then somebody else, because she's hiring 150,000 people, of course you're going to have people who feel those people said, I was like, that's stupid. Apparently there's a lot of people at Walmart, from what I'm hearing, been getting sick too. So I mean, again, I haven't got that firsthand, so I don't know, but I do know that I haven't seen anybody at Walmart and people don't wear a mask and they don't even do it. I could see devil's advocate here is they didn't want to take out the supply for first responders. Point. Okay, I can see that. But what happens if you had your own? What if you bought your own 2 months before? What if you just have one, wear it like I did, just like this is mine or some kind of thing? But first off, there's really not much way they can prove that you didn't have it before. But say you did, but then it's like, okay, say like push that aside, say they say no for whatever reason because they don't want to seem like they're taking it from their first responders. They should be donating to it. Apparently they can't even get food, even if it's on the shelf. I mean, basically that's what she was saying. It's like the customer comes first. If there's a can of beans on the shelf and she goes there and there's nobody around and she gets up and she walks up to the cash register to check out and someone says, hey, I was looking for some beans. Those are the beans I want. She has to give it to the customer, which I think is, I can understand not getting it from the back or something like that, but anyway, that's another whole issue that I think that's ridiculous. But in any case, but let's say for a moment that they don't want to do that because of something, they have a good excuse. Okay. What about scarves? What about something that you can put over your face so that way at the very least, maybe they might still get sick, but at the very least if they cough or sneeze or something like that, they're not getting other people sick. I mean, it seems common sense, but some people are so scared to show like bad face. I mean, I'm going there full thing, people are like, ooh. But see, this is the thing about America, people don't, putting on your mask and stuff like that isn't like in China and Japan where it's like putting on your hat and gloves. So they see it as strange and indifferent, and so therefore that's the reason why I've been wearing a mask during delivery. And again, while I'm talking kind of low, is why family's sleeping in the back room, just FYI. But I don't see why. I mean, I've been wearing this and people have been looking at me funny initially, but now they kind of they're more, they say they understand it more, but early on they just like laughed at me. One girl, I went to a gas station, she hysterically started laughing. Didn't say nothing. I was trying to be a bit because I knew she wanted to know more about it. I would just talk to her, but she didn't want to know. She didn't ask me. The same thing goes to the people. I try not to take offense to it because it is strange. I do look weird. I mean, and maybe another video I might show you what I look like in it. I mean, I look like a space invader, and to tell you the truth, I've even talked about a bank when I went in there. It's like, and which was in a grocery store. So it's like, is this okay? I don't want to kind of break anybody out or something like that. But But yeah, it seems like they're being okay with it too. But in any case, so the Walmart things, the one thing I was wanting to talk about as far as getting people to be more aware of that, and being able to say something to somebody higher up. I don't know who else to talk to in that respect, but that's what I was trying to think of now. Basically, so that's Walmart was one issue, but then second issue was dealing with the reasoning why. Okay, what happens is, okay, we close everything as far as the coronavirus and closing down all the businesses and trying to distance ourselves. Okay, there's two things now getting generalized mathematics here. So you have a function which is basically you have some data coming in, and so as the coronavirus, more people take advantage and distance themselves, the virus kills less and less people. Okay, so that's a little function graph that hopefully it goes down, you know. But then there's another thing, this is a dynamic system, so you have to understand what happens is as you drop that starts a consequence. People lose their jobs, people can't work as much, so in a normal society, yeah, there's going to be people doing stupid things, you know, and robbing people and beating people up just because they look at them funny. But then what happens is when you start taking away the people that would normally work and are hard-working Americans and peoples across the world and everything, what happens is as their options dwindle, some people don't have the funds to support them a month or two, much less a week, you know. And so whenever they don't have a job or they have a job, they're like, okay, pay electric or buy food, you know, all these things. So what happens is another function shows as far as death, you know. So you're just like, well, you might not die from death, and you don't want to. You're trying to spread the curve out, you know, so that way everybody's not dying at once. Because with doing this, if we didn't do that, then with distancing ourselves, then we would have an onslaught of people going to the hospital and overwhelming our hospital. So we try to expand the time frame, so that way it's not for this week everybody gets sick and then the hospitals can't have it and then people die. That's another issue. People die at the hospitals because they don't have respirators, because they don't have them. But if they would have had respirators, they would survive. So if you spread out the time, we have time to make them, we have time to get people in and out, and we have the other type of drugs. We give us some more time to do that. So that's why they're doing that. But this is a delicate balance. So why don't you just keep it, down the economy for a year? Well, it's probably obvious to most of you, but what happens when you lose a job, and that's where I was going into, is essentially people get desperate. And yes, I have some food stocked up a little bit here, but I don't have a year's supply, you know. I plan on growing a garden. Actually, I'm starting that today or tomorrow. Start growing a garden. Basic stuff, nothing major, and the push kind of stuff. Hopefully we'll be out of this before the first vegetables, first vegetables come to be able to be picked. But if it wasn't, and something happened where we needed some food, we would have some kind of stuff. So where the other function, so the first function, you're slowing the spread here of the virus, and therefore limiting the number of people dying and people getting respirators. The other function is another function of crime. And more people do crime because they need food, they need to feed their families, there are certain things that's probably the main things is money to pay some rent, you know. But of course we're getting some of these things with the stimulus bill that just passed yesterday. Don't agree with everything because it looks more like a socialist thing, and I'm very, it scares me a lot of that, but that's another whole issue. But as that function goes up, as more and more people lose their jobs, and they're long jobs, and they don't have money to replenish them, they do more stupid things. They rob people, or rob grocery stores, maybe not with the intent to kill anybody, but if you're robbing with a gun or something like that, this function is going to go up, which is output is going to show the number of people dying. So as the job claims go down, that goes into how this function reacts. And so this function goes up when there's high unemployment. So the higher unemployment, the longer it is, the higher the death rate goes on. So what they have to do, they have to manage both of them. So they have to do it where they save people's lives from the coronavirus, Wuhan coronavirus, and then they turn it back on where they get the economy kicked back up or give people some kind of stimulus there, so that way they have something to go a little longer, and that way we could start coming back together, start working, and then hopefully pull up before we crash and I guess, I don't know, but hopefully this will get us through there, and it's going to get some people but yeah, so that's the kind of the two things. You got two functions working that are both outputting the number of deaths. So yes, you save lives from not getting the Wuhan virus, but then you add more lives. So then what you want to do is that you might add some more, you might listen up on the social distancing, because if you keep on doing it, the number of people that are jobless are going to do stupid things. Well, probably not stupid in their mind, because they're probably trying to do the right thing, but they need something for their kids. But in any case, if that's how they say, I see other ways to go about it, but I'm not in their situation. So they lessen up on the restrictions, more people get out, so maybe then more people die of coronavirus, or they hope that they would still distance themselves a little bit, but they're able to go to work, and maybe more people wear masks. And so, in any case, that's kind of essentially how I see it. So it's a balance, you do too much one way, the other thing goes up and have more people die. But just different people die for a different reason. So you gotta lessen up the other thing, which gives the other people that would have went out and robbed it, I got my job back, or I got some more hours, I can afford to get the groceries or whatever, I can pay the electric bill now. Thank goodness, and they're good people. But now they got a job, so now they can afford to get back there. They had some reprieve from some of these mortgage places that let them have a month of time to kind of get caught back up, and now they could go do that. Now they don't have to do something stupid, which would ruin their whole life. But if you're in a certain situation, like say medicine, you need some money to buy some medicine, it's sad. But in any case, I'm trying to show that this is probably so more people know what's probably going on in these politicians' heads, hopefully. But thank you again. Hopefully this will make some kind of sense to somebody out there, and hopefully make people realize what's going on and why they're doing the things they're doing. And as always, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, and eventually I'll have some kind of cool introduction video and some kind of exit video music. But as of right now, oh, what? Anyway, have a good day.